Hello there. Today we will do chapter 6 of Vistas, the supplementary reader of class 12th. On the face of it is a drama written by Susan Hill. The famous works of this English author, Susan Hill, include The Woman in Black, The Mist in the Mirror, and I Am the King of the Castle. She received the Somerset Maugham Award in 1971 for this last book. Coming to the genre and theme, this is a short play written to inspire children and people with disability. It also cautions people about their behavior towards people who are different from them. It may be considered a realistic inspirational drama. The actions in the play and the dialogues convey forcefully that the pain of disability can be overcome easily, but the fear of non-acceptance and hatred of society is more painful to deal with. Differently abled need our support and acceptance and not our pity. Before we move any further, let us try to understand the meaning of on the face of it. That is, the title of the play. Well, it means to all appearances. How something looks from outside, outwardly or seemingly. Now, why this title? Because the playwright wants to show the difference between reality and perceptions. There are only two major characters in the story. The reality of both is quite different from what people think about them. The focus is on the need to view others after removing the glasses of prejudice, hatred, hearsay, and dislike. The major characters in the drama are Derry, a boy of 14, whose face looks ugly because of the burns from acid. He is a loner, that is, prefers to be alone than in a company. He is withdrawn and introvert, with little confidence and a lot of anger and hatred for the society. He is suspicious of the intent of the others. He is quite frustrated in his life. All in all, he suffers from severe negative complexes. Then we have Mr. Lamb. He is an old man with a tin leg. He is lonely, craving for acceptance and company. He is friendly towards all. All means humans as well as other creatures in nature. He is tolerant, outgoing, helpful, sensitive, and independent. He is not disturbed when children call him Lamey Lamb. In fact, he welcomes all of these children in his garden. Then we also have Derry's mother, who is shown only once, but the conversation clearly tells that even the mother does not know how to deal with a child who looks different from others. The basic plot of this drama is that there is a problem. Derry is withdrawn, bitter towards the world, lonely, pessimistic. He cares too much about his disability and what people talk of him and hates it when people stare or pity him. He has forgotten about his qualities and what he can achieve. He meets Mr. Lamb, who revives the positivity in him and encourages him to work hard to realize his dream. The solution to his problem is to face the fears, meet people, work hard. Let us see what the two discussed in the garden. Derry climbed the wall to enter the garden of Mr. Lamb, assuming there is no one. Mr. Lamb is in the garden and he sees him, even welcomes him and informs that the gate was open. He could have used it. Derry tells that people are afraid of him because of the scars made by the acid. It ate his face. It ate him up. Mr. Lamb tells him that everything made by God interests him. Fruits, flowers, trees, herbs, even weeds are creations of God. All life, growing. When Derry says they are not same, he answers, yes, there are differences on the surface. Like he is young while Lamb is old. Derry has a burnt face, he has a tin leg. Derry is standing, he is sitting. Basically, the two have started a conversation. Derry defends himself, saying, tin leg can be hid under a pair of trousers. Lamb says, some people stare, some don't, but eventually all get tired of staring, for there are plenty of other things to stare at. Lamb gives the example of Beauty and the Beast. Of course, Derry knows the story and the moral too. It's not what you look like, it's what you are inside. Handsome is handsome does. Beauty loved the monstrous beast for himself, and when she kissed him, he changed into a handsome prince. Derry also knows what people tell him too. Look at all those people who are in pain and brave and never cry and never complain and don't feel sorry for themselves. And think of all those people worse off than you. Think you might have been blinded or born deaf or have to live in a wheelchair or be daft. Daft means silly in your head and dribble. Dribble means fall. He overheard ladies pitying him, and that was terrible. He does not like people. Lamb narrates a story of a man who locked himself in a house for fear of any kind of mishappening, like an accident, catching some bacteria, etc. And do you know how he died? He died because a painting behind his bed fell on him. Derry feels even his parents are worried about him. Lamb says that he has all his organs, senses, limbs in place. He will get on the way he wants like the rest. And if he chose and set his mind to it, he could get on better than all the rest. So, Lamb encourages him. We also come to know that Lamb is also very lonely. He eagerly waits for someone to come to him. He considers all his friends, from people to birds, animals, plants, etc. Lamb cautions him not to hate anyone because that would kill him inside out. Hatred is worse than acid. Lamb tells that you can learn many things with practice. The two discuss his dream. Suddenly, Derry gets up, promising to return after informing his mother about his whereabouts. With that, we come to the end of Scene 1. In Scene 2, we are at Derry's house. His mother is frightened of Lamb because of what people say and discourages him from going there. But he goes. And then we move back to the garden of Mr. Lamb. He finds the old man fallen in the garden. Derry has changed for good. He has understood that deeds speak louder than the words. He has understood that irrespective of how he looks, he can do what he wants to. It is all in his attitude and not what people say. So even though Lamb has died, but he has changed at least one life for good. So what has he done? He has basically fulfilled the purpose of his life. So I hope you have understood the themes, etc. in this beautiful drama. Thank you. Keep enjoying literature.